Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. That's my knowledge park, and today we have to discuss regarding certain rules of direct into indirect. Generally in 10th standard as well as in PUC second year, there is one of the questions that is report the following. In that one, actually how to be used that direct into indirect, we must understand. So that what are the certain rules? Certain rules are such type of the rules. First of all, that simple present converts into simple past. Simple past. For example, one of the dialogues is that it is written into direct. Then if we have to write it into indirect, then simple present, if the dialogue is written into simple present, it must be converted into simple past. After that, what it is there? Second one, if the dialogue is written into present continuous, if the dialogue is written into present continuous, it must be converted into past continuous. It must be converted into past continuous. In the same way, if the dialogue is written into direct speech, that into present perfect. If it is written into present perfect, so it must be converted into past perfect. If the dialogue is written into present perfect, it must be converted into past perfect. In the same way or similarly, if the dialogue is written into present perfect continuous, if it is written into present perfect continuous, then what one has to do? We have to just write that the direct speech into indirect, that too in past perfect continuous. So what are these? These are the certain rules while changing the direct into indirect. That is very important. Now in direct into indirect, what the things are going to change? Again, whatsoever the models are there, those all models are supposed to be converted into their perfect form. How? For example, is there, am is there, are is there. Also, these have been called as a helping verbs, and also can is there. After that, shall is there. Then after, will is there. What the things are going to happen regarding such type of the helping verbs and models? Remember, is and am always going to convert into was, are always going to convert into were when it is in indirect speech. If the direct speech in direct speech, if there is a simple present, it converts into simple past. If it is in present continuous, it must be past continuous. If it is in present perfect, it must be past perfect. If it is in present perfect continuous, it must be past perfect continuous. Apart from that, what one has to do? Apart from that, whatsoever the models are there, those all models are supposed to be changed in their perfect form. Is converts into was, am converts into was, and are converts into were. Also, can converts into could, shall converts into should, and will converts into would. So what these are? These are the certain rules that one has to follow whenever we are going to convert any one of the sentence or sentences, that to indirect into indirect. Apart from that, what it is there? Apart from that, here becomes there, here becomes there, this becomes that, also these becomes those, these becomes those, now becomes then, now becomes then. So what are these? So these are certain rules that we have to follow while changing the direct into indirect. What is the key factor here? One of the key factors here is that simply we have to just look towards the tense, and according to the tense, what one has to do? We have to convert the direct into indirect. How? Many of the times it has been repeated. Simple present, simple past, present continuous, past continuous, present perfect, past perfect, and also present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous. And if it is in simple past, it converts into past perfect. Apart from that, what are those? For example, have is there. In present tense, if it is a have, that I mean in direct, if it is an have, it's supposed to be converted into had. Have converts into had. Understand? In the same way, what are there? For example, this day. This day converts into that day. This day converts into that day. This day converts into that day. So what these are? These are the certain rules that one has to understand whenever we are going to follow certain rules of direct into indirect. So guys, try to understand. What is my intention? My intention is to make you understand in very easy way. I am not going to use that method. How complex to easy? No. It is easy to complex. That is very important. And hence simple present. For example, simple present, what it is there? I come. What it is? Simple present. Now simple present converts into simple past, he says. It means what? I come converts into I came. I come converts into I came. So along with that, if I have taken one of the examples and if I made you understand that how to be converted the direct into indirect, then definitely the concept will be clear, and hence here I would like to take one of the examples so that you can understand properly. Now, for example, what for example? Just to listen. I am going to take one of the examples. And what is that one of the examples? Here, one of the example is that, now just try to understand, my uncle says, comma and inverted comma, I am busy now. For example, I am busy now. What it is? It is one of the example that we have to convert the direct into indirect. Now what it is there? Remember my dears, whatsoever the dialogue is written out of the inverted commas, and if it is already written into simple past, there is need not to convert into past perfect. Whatsoever the dialogue is written into simple present, which is out of quotation mark, if it is written into simple present, it must be converted into simple past. Over. And whatsoever the thing which is written into inverted commas, for that what one has to do? It should be changed according to the rules and regulations of direct into indirect. What is that? If it is written into simple present, it must be written into simple past. But what is regarding the thing or the dialogue which is out of the quotation mark? Whatsoever the dialogue which is out of the quotation mark, if it is written into simple present, it must be converted into simple past. And if already it is in simple past, there is need not to convert into simple past. That everyone has to understand. It's very easy. Nowadays, the learners are become very, very active and they understand very well. There is need not to go through, or there is need not to go thoroughly regarding such type of the ideas. समझदार को इशारा काफी होता है. That is very important. So now, my uncle says, I am busy now. Now, how it must be converted that direct into indirect? My uncle says it must be converted as it is. I told you. Remember what the thing one has to understand. Main thing is that. What is main thing? Whatsoever the dialogue which is out of inverted commas or quotation mark, if it is written into simple present, it must be converted into simple past. And already if it is written into simple past, there is need not to change that into past perfect. That one has to understand. That is very important. And this is the key. That is very important. That to of direct into indirect. Now, my uncle says, my uncle says converts into either you have to write told or you have to write said. Nothing will happen. Generally what happens whenever the great, what you can say, whenever the great personalities are there or VIPs are there, whenever they are going to talk into simple present, and if you have to write it into what you can say indirect speech, at that time says converts into said. For example, the Prime Minister said, not it is told. Understand? There are certain rules that one has to follow. Okay, so in the same way, my uncle, he may be a common person and he may be one of the richest person, that is another thing. But my uncle is a very closely person and hence he says converts into he told. Up. What the thing is going to give us trouble? The thing is going to give us trouble that one is comma and another's are inverted commas. For the sake of lopping comma, for the sake of cutting comma, for the sake of to delete comma, or for the sake of to skip comma, what one has to take? We have to take one of the conjunctions. What is conjunction? And a conjunction connects two sentences together. Over. It's very simple. There is need not to what you can say, scratch our what you can say the head, and there is need not to think what exactly is that conjunction and so and so. Why? Whenever we are going to understand what do you mean by direct into indirect, and when that direct into indirect, some of the exercises are going to occur, and if we have to solve that one, then what are the certain rules that we have to follow? That is very important. Now, what the certain rules? Earlier here I had written certain rules. Now, my uncle told. Remember, my dears, I am going to make the direct into indirect. My uncle says that in indirect, the direct in indirect, what it is there? It is written into simple present. Now, what I have done? It is I am writing it into simple past. So, only remember what I am going to tell you. The dialogues which are written out of inverted commas or out of quotation marks, if they have written into simple present, they are only supposed to be converted into simple past. And already if it is written into simple past, there is need not to convert into past. Simple past supposed to be in past perfect. So it is written in simple present. In simple present, my uncle says, if the noun is singular, verb must be plural. That is into simple present. And if the noun is plural, verb must be singular apart from I. These are the rules of writing that simple present in that tense. Now, my uncle told that I. Remember I told you, I, if it is I, there in direct, either it converts into he or she. And am is there. Am is going to express the meaning of is, and is an helping verb. So is converts into was, because while making direct into indirect, tense are always going to change. Whereas while making active into passive voice, only the subject becomes the object of the verb and object becomes the subject of the verb. That one has to understand. But here what it is there? My uncle told that, yeah, I is going to express the meaning of uncle. And uncle is what it is? He is a masculine gender. And hence, my uncle told that I converts into he, am converts into was. My uncle told that he was busy. Busy must be busy. Now converts into then. Yes, it is. So what it is that? That direct speech is my uncle says I am busy now. That is the direct speech. And indirect speech, my uncle told that he was busy then. Now converts into then. So guys, I think you might have understood certain rules while changing the direct into indirect. We will come soon in another video with uncountable examples of direct into indirect. Till then, wait and watch. If you like my channel, please like it and do not forget to subscribe it. Thanking you.